out there. Thank you very much for watching. I am Mr. B, and you have reached yourself out to Politicking with Mr. B. And I want to say thank you very much for coming in. What a terrible time we have had with this snowstorm that's come through here. We have had probably the better part of 17 inches of snow in our area in Epping, New Hampshire, home of 3 of New Hampshire's governors, of which I can only name one. The other ones I can't remember. And yeah, this is March now. They say March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. Well, this time it's coming like a white tiger because we've had all of this snow. And if there's a fellow who's coming in, one of our regulars, his name is Daniel Main, and he's from Winchendon, Massachusetts. I want to bring him in here. Thank him very much, Daniel. Good evening. Good to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you. Nice to be back with you.
Glad to have you here, my friend. And with this, I want to say, my engineer, Blaze, thank you very much. Blaze, if you got that beautiful band of colors, run up the colors so we can give the Pledge of Allegiance, my friend. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Yes, what a beautiful flag it is. The standard of living for being in America. And for those of you who turned around and have said that to say the word being American is un-American or something like that, up yours, baby. So, Daniel, I know that you are out in an area that is more, if you will, regular kind of people, more blue collar, whatever else. How much of this left-wing socialist infusion have you been seeing up in the area of north central Massachusetts?
Oh, it's getting nothing but worse up here. It's nothing but worse. You know, it starts on the school boards. You know, the school boards are loaded with it.
Oh,
you know, the things they want to do to your kids, the things they want to try to teach your kids. They think that they're their children, not your children. You know, it's that whole it takes a village bullshit. You know, it doesn't take a village. Stay away from my friggin' kids.
Yeah. I mean, do they really take? Because I've heard from this from so many different people, and I've seen it myself. But I'm even there. Is it really reaching that far where they believe that they have the rights to tell you what you have to do with your children?
Absolutely. They've come right out on Facebook and said it in the groups. I've been kicked out of the Friends of Winchendon Schools groups for calling out the teachers. For Winchendon is one of the worst school systems in the state. We're in the bottom 10%. It's absolutely absurd. You call them out for it. For they want to be their friends in their confidants. How about you be their teacher and teach them how to friggin' do division? They don't need to know the LBGQ, LGY, XY, BK, anything, right? That's not your business to tell them that. It's mine.
Right. I remember when I had lived out there and I had been doing the work that I had done, I had come through some paperwork I was able to get a hold of that they didn't want me getting a hold of, but I found it. And it had come through and I'd done all the math. And you know how much out of every dollar, how much of that dollar actually went to the direct benefit of the children at that time?
I can only imagine. What, 20 cents?
Lower.
Yeah, I believe it. I was trying to be
generous.
7
cents out of every dollar was going to the direct benefit of the child. Everything else was going to the fat, bloated administrators' salaries and all their perks. And
shocker!
And the teachers, whatever else. Yeah.
Look at the Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Look at the amount of money that goes into them, the millions. And is it millions or is it billions? I mean, the millions of dollars that they've not only that they've squandered away on their little parties and stuff. They're buying $6 million houses. They just spent $30+ million in the stock market. God, I hope they put it in that SVB.
This to me smacks of a fraud having been perpetrated. But what am I? Oh, we have a message here. There was this one little girl who was being bullied in middle school where my daughter goes. So her mom pulled her out to come home to school, and the school called Child Protective Services on her.
That's disgusting. Child Protective Services isn't there to help your children. They really aren't. Look at that Montgomery girl. Have they figured that one out yet?
I have absolutely no idea what's going on with that. And you know that they're keeping everything close to the vest on all of that because of all of the repercussions and whatnot. I mean, they had the instance with that I don't know, reform school they were trying to run here in New Hampshire, that all the children were getting diddled for however many years. It's been closed down, and now it's all coming out. Now they're going to prosecute things. They're going to be doing lawsuits, settlements, and this and that. Blah 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 blah. Tell me again where the social system.
Socialism. They don't help. They really don't. They haven't for years. Again, I mean, you can point at case after case of kids being put in abusive situations, because it's a family member. Children put back with alcoholics because they're family members. Just because they're family members doesn't mean they're better people. Sometimes, unfortunately, the system might be better off. At the same time, these social workers are going out and ripping other families apart for very minor things to flex their muscles. You see video after video of it on Facebook every day. It's all these Democrats thinking that they know better than you. And every time you ask one of them if they have children, the answer is no. They never have children, but they know how to raise your children better than you do.
I know. By the way, to the person who wrote into us, thank you very much. I salute you. Thank you very much for giving us your kindness in favor of your words. By all means, speak up to more of your friends. Have them come in. Let's hear from more people, because I'm sure if it's happened to you or it's happened to your friend, it's happening more and more. We got to hear more of this stuff.
I've since put my children back into the public school system, but we pulled one of them out of Winchendon. Again, the system, number one, was so poor, but number two, they weren't allowing us. So after COVID, a lot of kids, not just my kids, lots of kids, had a real hard time with coming out of COVID between the Zoom classes and the just remote learning, and my kids didn't learn much from it. We tried to do the homeschool, and quite honestly, we did a horrible job of it. So we wanted to keep them back. In the teachers in Winchendon refused to let me keep my younger one back because they know better. My older one was able to be kept back. He's flourishing, staying back in 9th grade, which he never really originally took anyway because it was a homeschool. In my 5th grader, unfortunately, is just having a horrible time with it. Of course, we blame ourselves with it somewhat, but at the same time, if these liberals that are running the friggin' school would have listened to us and said, we're the parents, I don't care what your books are telling you. We're the parents. We are the ones, raising the child. This is what's better for the child. Again, it just goes back to the mental illness they have, that they know better than you.
There is this inherent tunnel vision that people have. It seems that as soon as they get the notion that they have a piece of paper that says that they're educated, that they know more than everybody else. And they got to realize sometimes, they need to walk into this and be told, you know what, that book that you're talking about, you keep saying knows this and knows that. Maybe that book ain't finished being written, you moron. Figure it out.
I don't know how to do your job, but this book here tells me that you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Okay. They don't know anything more about educating children, and think of these from an, if you will, ordinary child and a child who may have autism. An ordinary child and a child who has autism can be equally educated. The thing is, you have to figure out how this person that has that special need can learn, because they can't learn from the ordinary way. Well, you know what? That's applicable to just about everybody if you think about it.
Seriously. That's why they come up with the more general way of doing this, because the general population gets it. There might be outskirts here and there. But, very unpopular opinion, unfortunately. All of a sudden, everybody's got something. This one's autistic. This one's got this wrong. This one's got that wrong. Everybody's got something freaking wrong with them these days. Like, everybody needs pills for something.
And I remember in your area back, again, this is a number of years ago, this was by the name of Bob O'Meara. And they had things, when things had come out, that, 70, I believe some 70 kids were substandard, were failing. And he comes out with the crack that, well, we're practically the DSS Center of Massachusetts as an excuse why all these children aren't failing.
Yeah,
it's not the children.
Do the DSS children not deserve learning?
It doesn't matter where they come from. They're children. They're human beings. It's a failure of your staff.
Absolutely.
It's a failure of your education system.
100%. Yep, you won't get an
idea. And how many times have we heard, not just from Winchendon, but from all over, oh, if we're going to be able to have to do this, we've got to have more money.
It's always about the money. They always need more money. Well, we were just told at the town meeting the other night where they tried to jump our taxes 3%, which we voted down.
Surprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, shocker. But so they had told us if we had voted for this years ago, like you've seen the senior center with the wrapping on it to stop the bricks from falling on top of people. It is all about money. It's always about money.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There was a guy my father knew, worked for him, who literally never missed a day of work in his life. He'd get up in the morning, he'd do his whatever things, and he'd get himself dressed and whatnot, and he'd go out to his car, and he'd drive from wherever he worked, lived, all the way down to where he worked, parked his car, got out, went into the building, said hello to all of the people that had been there for however many years, whatever this and that. Guy did that for many, 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 many years. And he never once missed a day of work. He was very fortunate that he never took a serious illness, and that's a blessing of God. I'm sure you'll agree. But the other thing about it was he got back and forth to work without a big bus, without a chauffeur-driven limousine or whatever else. You know what he drove? A VW Beetle. And you know who that person was? Let me see if you might recognize the name. Igor Sikorsky.
I don't.
Sikorsky Helicopters.
Oh, really?
Yes. My father worked at a time for Igor Sikorsky down in Connecticut. And he used to see him coming in and whatnot. He'd walk in on the shop floor, shaking hands, "Hi, good morning," this and that, saying hello, and he remember people's names and all of that. And then it was sharp as a tack. And he didn't need to have, all exorbitant this, that, and whatever else, people chasing him around, whispering in his ear. He didn't need to have chauffeur-driven limousines, and he didn't want it.
Good for him.
Okay? We don't need. Another example was, and I did this on a Winchendon town meeting floor. I told the story that when they had the Apollo-Soyuz space mission, America was hell-bent for leather, going crazy, trying to figure out how to come up with a pen that will write in a zero weightless atmosphere, or weightless atmosphere.
Yep.
Couldn't get it to, they fought and whatever else, and they spent $1 billion, and they came up with a beautiful pen, and they could lay it on their back writing, sit down, back, this, that, whatever else. They tested it all over the place, and it was a fantastic pen. Worked great. Not to be undone, the Russian space cosmonauts were able to do it for a little bit less by giving the cosmonauts a freaking pencil.
Couple
they didn't
dollars.
Need to spend $1 billion.
Couple dollars less.
Right. I'm sorry?
I said a couple dollars less.
Yeah. They didn't need to spend $1 billion to be able to write in a weightless atmosphere.
Well, that's how are you supposed to get all your friends all that government money if you just give them a pencil, Jeff? I'll
be honest with you, just fork it over in cash.
Well, they do that too. They
Yeah,
do that.
we do that. But
Nancy
every
didn't
time we turn
pay
around,
for all that ice cream with checks,
yeah, yeah. But every time we turn around, we're getting railroaded into something. Well, you can't do that. You have to do this. We have to get rid of cows because they fart too much. Craziness. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
What did she say?
Remember that when she was first got elected to office, she was saying that they're doing this Green New Deal thing, whatever else, and they wanted to get rid of the cows because their
The
farts
cows,
create
the
greenhouse.
farting cows, yeah.
Yeah, farting cows make
Well,
greenhouse
they
gas.
still run that one. They
Yeah,
still run that. We gotta get rid of hamburgers because we're killing the planet one burger at a time.
Yeah.
Like, these people are insane, Jeff. They really are. They're absolutely insane. If it wasn't for hypocrisy, they wouldn't have anything going for them at all. She first, telling you, look at her with their COVID nonsense. Oh, everyone's got to wear masks and vax up and do this. And then 5 minutes later, they get her in video in Miami Beach. No mask, no nothing, having drinks with her old man.
Who got rich selling masks?
Yeah. Who did get rich selling the masks?
Who got rich selling masks?
And
other people got rich selling survival kits or whatever else. Hey, you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention, and in chaos there is opportunity, and a lot of people know that and they understand that and go after it. And that's.
I'd like to know which members of Congress had stocks and bonds with Pfizer and Moderna.
Yeah.
I'd like to know that. I'd like to know that before the next 10 years is up.
Yeah. I'd like to also see. I'd like to also see who it is that really knows what's his name, Fauci, got all of his misdirected Fauciisms, if you will, about, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. Next thing you know, oh no, well, there's this and there's that. The turnarounds, the flips, the flops, the pancakes, the waffles.
Yeah. Rand Paul's been right all along. What's the video you got?
We've got a video to play. Placeman has got something to put up. If you got that available for us, I know there's one video that I'd asked him to look for to get up of Joseph Goebbels.
When cows fart and burp and splatter, well, it ain't no laughing matter. They're releasing methane every time they do. And that methane from the rear goes up to the atmosphere and pollutes our planet for years. Yes, that methane that they pass is a greenhouse gas that'll trap the sun's heat and change our climate too. Gee, is it hot in here or is it just me? So to change their emissions, Burger King went on a mission, testing diets that would help reduce their farts.
That's a start.
And now there ain't no question that it's helping cows' digestion, adding land and grass so they can play their part. Woo-hoo. Reducing methane, and the scientists have proven that reducing methane, we can reduce emissions by more than a third.
If my cow ain't farting, must be me.
Reducing methane, and the formula is free and open source. So join it, reducing methane. Got the cow kids singing for a better world. Got the cow kids singing for a better world.
Oh my god.
That was great.
I was gonna say that's 2 minutes of my life I'm never gonna get back.
After seeing that, do you really want it back? Raise your hand. Thank you very much.
Thanks, please. Thanks,
The crazy part about that is that's an actual Burger King commercial.
Oh my God! They actually paid. Can you believe they made that with a straight face? They're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make a commercial about not wanting to use real beef in our patties anymore.
Yeah, we have another message.
Please stop buying my product. That's how stupid they really are. Please stop buying my product.
Yeah. Well,
we're killing the world.
Stop
buying my shit.
This is the woke thing. Now, like a freight train, these people are turning around and saying, all of a sudden, we have to do the quote-unquote redistribution of wealth, which means taking money away from people who fully earned it and it belongs to whatever else, and going ahead and covering somebody else's debts or whatever else, which is incredibly stupid.
Yeah. What happens when you run out of people's money to take?
Keep going after or whatever, and everything's happy.
Yeah, that's not how it happens, Jeff. That's when people start dying. that's when your socialism once again fails.
Socialism is a failure from the get-go. The people just don't understand it.
Oh no! Another video, Jeff. Jesus Christ! No. I don't know if I can take another video.
Well, I don't know if this is something else that Blaze is lined up, or if it's the one that I come up with. There's a video that I have. I don't know if you know who Joseph Goebbels was. Joseph Goebbels was the Adolf Hitler's minister of propaganda, and I had a video clip of him from, I believe it was 37 or 38, speaking to a crowd, and he was going on about how things are getting much better for the people in Germany because they're doing the socialism is working and they're redistributing wealth and everybody's all happy and glad and bunny farts and all of that shit. And we know exactly where the money was coming from, what they were doing, and the people that were dying for it. Here we are.
Zur gleichen Zeit wurde in Naumburg und wurde in Kiel je ein SA-Mann erschossen. Diese 9 Soldaten der Arbeit und der Politik fielen auf dem Felde der Ehre. Die ganze deutsche Nation erhebt sich in diesem feierlichen Augenblick.
Take a look at the people behind him. All the uniformed people behind them. How many of the people that are in the stands do you think have any of their own personal weapons? They've already been disarmed.
All I'm hearing on right now is doubles. So hang on. All right.
Sorry?
All right, again. Yeah, all I heard was double.
Okay. Take a look at all the people who are in the background. All the uniformed people that are behind it. And the people behind there that were in the stands looking like a bunch of sheep. Why? Because they had already been disarmed. They don't have any way of fighting back against what was going on. So they go along with it. After all, things are getting better for them. The government was taking and saying, "Oh yeah, here's this. We've got these things. Well, we're going to give you free however many weeks vacation and send you off to these camps or whatever else." In the meantime, they were sending other people off to other camps.
Yeah, exactly.
And doing what?
Well, that's what happens. Go ahead.
Take a look at people who have socialized medicine. Do you know anybody who lives up in Canada?
Yeah, I know plenty of them that have to come down here to get actual procedures done because they don't have time to wait in line up in Canada. What's that tax percentage up there to get that socialized medicine?
I believe there's somewhere in I believe 40-something%.
Ridiculous. So that you can wait in line.
Yeah. And for a regular doctor's appointment, you can wait a period of months. If you have something that's urgent, you've fallen down, you've cut your arm open really bad. Of course, there's services you can get urgently at an emergency hospital or something like that. But for some ordinary, regular thing, you have such a long wait.
Absolutely.
For it. And, I don't know how people can go on like that, and how much of a detriment to the personal health of the people.
But they ask for it up there, but again, they ask for it up there, but then they have to come down here, to get the actual procedures done, because they'll die if they wait for it up there.
Right.
So, I just, again, you can only use it as an example. How's your socialism working now? How's that working?
Right. And down here, they want not only the redistribution of wealth for socialized medicine, they keep harping on it. Give me free food, give me free housing, give me free health care, give me free college.
Gimme.
Thing. It's turning us into the gimme world.
Oh, but we're catering to it, Jeff. We're absolutely catering to it. Again, all these politicians do is make laws to justify their existence. And again, I don't care if we're talking about, the liberal idiots on the left or some of the right wing, idiots on the right, because some of them are pretty idiotic too. Those wicked far right and those wicked far left, like we need to come somewhere a little more in the middle. Don't get me wrong. Most of my stuff is all on the right hand side of things, if you know what I'm saying. But there's got to be a little bit of give and take on some of this stuff.
Right. I believe it was a year or so ago now. There was an interview that, pardon me, Neil Cavuto had done with some Gen Z kind of person, talking about how it was absolutely right to do the redistribution of wealth and so that they can get a free college. And he says to the girl, okay, fine. We take all this money that you're talking about from all these people. We go ahead and we pay for college for the next 2 or 3 years. And now all of that money is spent and it's gone. Now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And she had no answer whatsoever. He says, and by the way, so if we take all this money from these people and we say, okay, we're going to pay for all these schools, what's to stop the college from turning around and saying, all right, the price just went up an additional $15,000.
Easily that's going to happen. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Once people aren't, once they're, the number one, the first problem that happened with the colleges is the subsidizing of the tuitions with government money. Once government money gets involved, now it doesn't matter anymore, because they know they're just going to keep spending it. And it doesn't matter what the price tag is, because it's not like they make any money. They only take money, So once the government gets involved with it, now the prices start to skyrocket, and regular Joe can't go now. Not without government interference.
I believe it was Ronald Reagan who said that the most frightening words you can ever hear is, "Hello, I'm from the government. I'm here to help."
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to leave things to the private sector. The worst thing that happens, again, look at even with the COVID shit, people had enough. Like, we are going back to work. We're going to open up our shit. Like, we're done with you. You go back to the private sector. They just started opening things and said, don't tell them.
Right.
Just don't tell them.
Right. And that's part, of course, the American spirit, but that's also the human spirit that's coming out. And I'm kind of wondering how much more is going to happen at the hands of these left-wing money-grabbing idiots before the human spirit takes over. We got 1 more minute, and we're going to take a break in a minute, but I just want to say, before all of this happens, before things really start happening and people start doing what needs to be done, shutting down this insipid, moronic shit show, for lack of a better word, trying to turn us into a free giveaway for the world. We'll be talking more about this when we come back. We're going to go out and reach a little bit further in national scale and even globally. I'm Mr. B. Daniel. I'll see you in a few minutes. Blaze, right. We're going to take our break now. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Neutral Corner on FFN Media. Every Thursday night, 7 to 8, catch my show live. We are talking with legends, we're talking with professionals, we're talking with amateurs, we're also talking about gyms and the different programs they have. You can catch us live on FFN Media. 7 to 8 p.m. Not only can you catch us live, you can actually ask questions in the comments and interact with our guests. Hope to see you then.
Hey guys, Nick Parsons here. Come check my show Unbox Thoughts out. Live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the FFN Radio Network page.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
And here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We are back. My friend Dan, all the way from Winchton, Massachusetts, I want you to tell me what is the one thing that really sticks in your craw about what's going on with our socialized-looking government vis-a-vis the southern border.
Oh God, the southern border. I mean, it's 100% on purpose. You know, they assume that allowing all these people in, that because they're going to just let them on and vote. Which way are they going to vote? You know, they just assume it's going to be Democrat. You know, why are they going to vote Democrat? Because the Democrats are the one allowing a porous border. You know, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting what they're doing. You know, and why it's being tolerated is beyond me. I mean, what's the southern border? You know, the agents supposed to do? Are they supposed to deny the orders of the president of the United States and actually uphold the Constitution? You know, there's a border. They're sworn to protect the border, and they get no help. Look at them turning their backs on my order. I'd turn my back on that piece of shit too.
Pardon me, a little bit of dinner got thought back there. Well, you know, every time a pair of legs crosses over the Rio Grande in the wrong manner, you realize what it's costing us now.
What's it cost per person?
I have no idea.
Oh, there's a number, and you know there's a number associated with it.
There's no number fixed. Why? They don't care, because there's always more money for them to get from somewhere. Putting people up into hotels, giving them free bus rides halfway across the nation.
You see, they have empty hotels right now. They have empty hotels in Texas right now that the government is still paying for migrants to be able to go to because of COVID. You know, right. But there's nobody there. They're paying to keep it empty just in case.
And conversely, Pastor Joel Osteen doesn't let people inside his
Don't get me going on him.
whatever
man,
you want to call it.
He's brutal. You want to talk about brutal? All those guys are brutal with that. All them, don't get me wrong. I love Jesus, but all these Bible thumping a-holes that are out there just collecting their millions and billions. In that doesn't just go for the on air, pastors. That goes for all of them. Look at them sitting in Italy in the Vatican, on a mountain of gold, while there's places that live, Catholics that live in friggin' mud huts, but they want to preach to me their word of God. I can't stand it. Yeah, see, I told you there was a number per illegal, $8,000.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I got to give wonderful credit to our engineer. Blaze brought up the thing, $8,075 per illegal alien.
Yeah, that's only probably to house them for the first 30 days.
Oh, I'm going to do calculator work over here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I'm going to get this calculator up. 8,075 times, let's say 250,000 have come through.
250,000. That was last month.
That's like, I think, a little over $2 billion or something like that.
You have it, Jeff, right? You're a generous guy.
Absolutely.
You're
I'll take
willing
six. They're small.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Yep. No, and if you're not, you're a bigot. You hate brown people. If you think it's not okay to leave that border open.
I have been called a racist because I disagree with the left's socialism pointing. I have been called a person who is against children because I have been against the spending measures that have been put forth by crazed ultra left wing people on school boards. I'm not. I'm in favor. I'm not against the children. I'm in favor of my pocket. I'm in favor of keeping the house over our head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Again, you get these crazy liberals in Winchendon, on the selectmen board, pushing to jump our taxes 3%. They just jumped it 2.5%. We have a fire station we're going to have to pay for pretty soon because, we have to spend $8 million because there's one female on the whole fire department. Like, for some reason, we can't just build like this little small wing that like has a bathroom in it. No. Everything's inadequate now, and we gotta spend $8 million on it coming up for to make it. I don't know, for equity. I don't know. You tell me why. But now then they wanted to jump our taxes another 3% the other night. Which luckily enough of us showed up to the town meeting because you know how that goes. There's usually like 7 people there. It's disgusting. That's why they get away with all what they get away with. Is because all the rest of us are just like, well, screw it. They know what they're doing, and then we all bitch about it. But it starts at town friggin' meetings. That's where it starts. It starts in your town. Get them out of your town. But you know what we're doing? We're too busy working.
People have become so complacent.
Yeah,
they're so run down. I was seeing it. They're so tired of it. They don't want to deal with it.
Let it go for so long that now it's like, how are you supposed to grab that bull by the horns, as they say right now? How are you supposed to do it? It is so deep and so indoctrined in there that good luck, brother. Good luck. That's why I get as much ammo as I can. Eventually I'm going to live in the friggin' woods.
Do this for me. Drill it home. What are some of these indoctrinated things you speak of?
Well, again, it starts with the kids, and that's the worst part of it is with the kids. But it starts with the school boards. You go into the school boards, then you have these kids. They're turning these kids into friggin' into propagandists. They're out there holding their signs. They don't even know the signs they're holding. Look at the little kids with the like fuck Donald Trump signs. They don't even know what they're holding, but that's what they're holding. And people are like, oh, she's so brave letting her children do that. It starts with small children like that, and it's the parents, the disgusting parents that allow that to happen. You know, they're too busy, you know, being their friends, but that would be a total different subject. You know, so start with the school board and then get into the small town politics. You know, we want to hold an LGB, XYZ, QP, you know, L3 parade. And, you know, we want a special spot in the library to make people feel safe. You know, I mean, it's these small things, and it starts with these small things, and then just gradually gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it turns into tearing down friggin' statues. Tell me where I'm wrong.
I'm sitting here as though I'm gobsmacked, but I know that you're absolutely correct. The question is, what do we do to stop it?
And that's what I'm saying. It really starts at home. You know, you can't let these teachers and stuff indoctrinate your children. You know, again, you know, I mean, I have 3 children. I'm a proud father of 3 boys. You know, my oldest is 25. He's in the military. He's 7 years strong in the military. You know, my son Danny is going to be 16 next month. He's on a Life Scout right now. He's going to be an Eagle Scout. You know, my son Michael, he's 11 years old, just joining into the Boy Scouts, but in the Cub Scouts, he was an overachiever, is what they call it. He achieved every badge that's allowed in Cub Scouts. You know, luckily, I mean, he has his mother is the Cub Master, so he was kind of dragged to a lot of things. So, you know, but he's still there and he still did it, so he gets the badges for it. You know.
Okay, but let me ask you this: have you been involved with your children?
Oh, of course, every step of the way.
And your wife?
Of course, and it starts with the sound family. You know, a lot of these fatherless homes, you know, again, is another place where a lot of this starts. You know, fatherless homes is disgusting. Take care of your children, people.
Well, there are some situations where it's unavoidable. Of course.
Well, yeah, of course there are, but you know, they don't have to totally abandon the kids.
No, of course not. And in a situation where 2 adults who thought they could live together can't live together, they should be able to come together at least enough to support that child or children.
Yeah, my 25-year-old. That's our scenario.
Wow. Well, we would hope that things get better for them, and.
But again, that's where it starts is in the school, you know, and you know, and I think you agree with that. You know, we got to get, you know, these you know, more American flags in the schoolroom and less pride flags.
Yeah. Well, there's also something else that belongs in the school, but unfortunately, they've seen fit to go right here.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, the Holy Bible, absolutely.
God.
Notice everywhere we've taken God away from it just keeps getting worse and worse.
And that's it. They're trying to drive the concept of God away.
And again, I'll be the first one to tell you, Jeff. I'm not a Bible thumper by any means. You know, like I'm not the one out there, you know, preaching the word of God. I'm not. You know, I love Jesus. He's helped me out, you know, my whole life. You know, I have no qualms about saying that I believe in Jesus, but. You know, again, I wouldn't push it on anybody else, you know, but everywhere that you've taken God away from has gotten worse.
Yeah. People don't respect God. They're not cognizant of him. Christmas is a day to unwrap gifts and yell and scream at each other and eat a meal and everybody's happy.
They had to change Christmas to iPhone Day.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a new iPhone. Yay.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay. People need to start getting mindful of that.
No, I'm with you there.
If only we had more ways to get in to this psyche so that we would be able to take and break the pattern of this this monetary masturbation and colloquial, if you will, abuse of the human spirit that's tearing down our nation. I don't have any problem with people who are LGBTQ, MOUSE,
no problem at all.
equals or divided or whatever the hell it is. But you don't have to cram a flag down my throat or a rainbow up my butt.
No, and of course, they hijacked the rainbow. they've totally hijacked the rainbow. As soon as you see it, that's the first thing you think of is gay. It's the first thing you see, and it's like, some of my friends like, it's really too bad because like I just like seeing a rainbow, and now all I think of is like, oh look, it's gay.
I have nothing against gay people,
absolutely
homosexual people, or whatever else. It's not my thing. In the Bible, it says those sorts of things are an abomination to God. It's God's business. I'm not going up to people and saying you're an abomination to God. You're doing something. If you're doing something for me, can you do the job or not? If you do the job, fine, great. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Everybody's happy.
I was gonna say, listen, brother, I ain't here to judge anybody. God will judge you. God's the one judging. I ain't here to judge anybody. You want to do this? I always tell people I'm not one of those, those asshole Republicans from Washington. I'm a real life Republican. I want my gay friends to smoke pot and shoot guns and get married and do whatever the hell they want. I want people to leave them alone.
Right. That's the most important thing. And we're not being left alone. We're being told, no, we can't leave you alone. We're going to take care of you.
Oh, yeah.
You can just give us your money and we'll do what we think is right. And that's bullshit.
Absolutely. And again, and that's when they go after the kids, is because you're a bigot. And we have to take care of those kids because of you. Right. Not for you, because of you. We have to get those thoughts of, don't look at people's skin color, because we have to look at people's skin color because we have to put people in groups. How can we put people in groups if we don't look at their skin color?
Yeah, if you don't put people in groups, then there can't be hate. And we know that you hate, so we got to put people in groups.
Then who are you going to blame?
One of the latest acts of blatant, incredible stupidity, nuclear stupidity, if you ask me, comes from Disney again, where they're taking out the tune Zippity Doo Dah. Zippity Doo Dah is a tune that had come out in a film called The Song of the South. I believe it was issued back in 1947, which is sometime just after World War II. And its time and placement in the setting was after, not before, after the Civil War and slavery had been abolished and life had started settling into its quote-unquote normalcy, if you will. And there were black people, there were white people, there were people who didn't have much means, and there were people who had a lot of money in that film. But they all got along, and the stories that were told, the ways they were certain ways, kind of like reading Proverbs, certain ways about how to go through life. The stories that the Uncle Remus told about Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear and Brer Fox.
You don't get that anymore.
They were teaching things. And now they're saying they're going to take that song out away from the thing because it has to do with slavery.
It's so absurd. Everything's just become absurd, Again, like it's not like you need me to tell you, what do you do, when you tear down history? You're bound to repeat it. Slavery happened. It happened. There's no getting around it. It happened. You can tear down every statue you want. You can do whatever you want to do. It's not going away. I mean, let's not gloss over the fact that Africa was selling blacks all over the planet. Let's totally forget about that. When we're
I got a bottle of Hershey's syrup in my hand. Does that remind you of slavery too?
What the
hell is this?
Well, I mean, I'm offended by that. I mean, that's my new thing. I'm offended by everything. That's why I tell everyone I'm offended.
Right. You can't offend me. I'm already offended.
Right.
I'm sick to hell of people who turn around and say I can't do something because it offends them. Then look someplace else. And by the way, get your nose out of my business.
Yeah. Now, see, of course, in the real life of things, you know, in the real world day-to-day things, you know, like I don't go out of my way to offend someone, if you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
but I'm not
yeah.
going to stop being who I am. You know, like I'm still going to tell offensive jokes. Like, you know, if you don't like it, you know, I'm going to tell you're an offensive joke. So I guess don't come around me anymore. You know, but
Right.
like, you know, I'm going to continue being who I am. You know, like if your little girl looks like a boy and I call him a he, like, don't get offended at me, but you're the one that let him get the haircut like that, or
It's
her.
a simple mistake.
Yeah.
I
And
did
then I'm
that
going to
for
make a joke about it.
I remember years and years ago, I have a relative who had a young baby, and I looked at the baby and I said, "Oh, you know, he looks cute," and I got involved in the sides. That's a little girl. How the hell do I know? He's wrapped up in a towel in a basket. Okay, it was a mistake. It wasn't trying to be insulting.
Of course
I
not.
wasn't trying to
If
make
you can
it
tell
to
the sex of a
make it
baby,
joke.
you know, like you know, you must have some like voodoo genie powers. You know, because you look at the
I
baby
can
like,
tell what sex a baby is wrapped up in a towel in a basket. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
like sometimes you can even tell me the baby's name, and I'm still not going to know if it's a boy or a girl.
Well, there are some names that are either or. Kelly.
You know, it could be
Right on.
it could be Pat. You know, then you say, "What's the baby's favorite movie?" And the baby would say, "Tootsie."
Yeah, that is a great film. You know, and that's another film that they couldn't do today.
Oh God, no!
They could not do that. They
No.
couldn't do that. They
Can you
couldn't.
imagine if they remade it today?
No, yeah.
It would be a black
no.
female doing another black female. Because that's all you can do these days.
It numbs me to the core. How
Well,
people
you know what
think
you know, I know we were talking about the movie there, but you want to talk about like with the liberalism and stuff with how bad it's gotten. Like look at the president, all right? And before he became president, what was he looking for in a vice president? What was he looking for?
I have no idea.
A brown
He is
vagina.
neither.
That's it. It didn't
Okay,
matter. It
all
didn't
right.
matter your qualifications. It didn't matter what you've done. It had absolutely nothing to do with anything. If you had a brown vagina, if I had a brown vagina right now, Jeff, I'd be ruling the world. You know, and that's
and to look for someone to employ someone under those pretexts or under those choices. If that isn't racist, I don't know what is.
it's the definition of. You know, but again, it goes back to the hypocrisy of being a liberal. You know, I'm not racist. You're racist. No, you're the one looking at someone's skin color. No, well, you're not looking at their skin color. Exactly. That's why I'm not the racist, and you are. You know, that's why it's called hypocrisy. Like, welcome to the conversation.
If I'm going to hire somebody to do something or ask someone to be on video, I look for one thing: can they do the job I want them to do or not?
Right. So if you're going to have heart surgery, right? Like, are you looking for equity, or are you looking for the best friggin' heart surgeon you've ever heard of?
I want to find whoever the hell's got to give me the best chance of walking out of the hospital, not being carried out of the box.
Right. And that wouldn't be the equity guy. You know, like, all right, well, it's his turn. You know, so, you know, like, you don't get the good guy, you know, because he's done the last three guys and they all lived. You got to get this guy because, you know, he hasn't had a turn yet.
Yeah.
It's just,
And the upside down and backwards is a word called parallax. The upside down and backwards, the parallax view in life that we are seeing things now through this, I don't know, this woke culture thing and this ultra left, whatever the hell it is you want to call it or whatever else, is numbing, and it is crushing. It is weighting down our ability as a nation.
it's making us a laughing stock, is what it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at the cabinet that the president's holding right now. It's an absolute laughing stock of the world.
What does he care as long as he keeps getting an ice cream cone?
You don't even know what their names are. You know, honest to God. I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny on that. He literally wouldn't. If you asked him like quick, Joe, who's the Secretary of Defense? He'd have no idea.
Or he'd start telling you and then start talking about his one time when he saw snowflakes on top of a mountain.
And he'd start talking about how the children are like rubbing his hairy legs.
Yeah. Yeah. Last few minutes, I want to ask you this. We know that there is going to be some kind of a hoi polloi and hullabaloo and hubbub about whether or not Joe Biden runs for another term. First off, do you actually think it's going to happen? And secondly, if not, who is most likely, in your eyes, to be put up to run for the presidency?
I mean, if they have half a brain, they'll try to put Michelle Obama up there. But Joe's not going to win. He's absolutely running the country into the ground, and even the Democrats know it. You know, there's no hiding it. You know, the Republicans, on the other hand, are going to have a problem with Trump. If for whatever reason, if Trump doesn't get the nomination and he runs third party, there's no way we're going to win. You know, because too many people will be split.
It would be a spoiler situation.
He really will. He can't do it. If he does it, he's just going to screw all of us.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean, if he's running against DeSantis, man, even myself, I'm going to have a hard time deciding. I'm probably going to lean Trump because I want DeSantis later.
Well, I don't know if you saw the show the other night, but I put out the thought that I think that we are going to see a Trump DeSantis ticket.
Oh, really? Huh? I mean, they've been going, back and forth at each other pretty hard.
All the more reason for me to believe a Trump DeSantis ticket is coming down the pike, my friend.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't know if DeSantis is gonna leave Florida to be VP.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. He got elected down there by a landslide. I mean, they love him in Florida. So why not stay for another 4 years where they absolutely adore you, and then let the political air cool down, and then go jump into the race. He's highly respected.
We do have to be mindful of the fact Trump isn't getting much younger either.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He did great things. The unfortunate thing is again where he got attacked all day, every day. He basically started smelling his own farts. He was constant like, I do this, I do that, and it's like even for the people that liked him, it got like, all right, dude, we know. We know you did. Like, show us with your pen, and start writing some of these bills that we want.
Well, maybe he's learned. Maybe things have gotten better. And I can't believe that someone like him, who has done so well as him, wouldn't learn from the past.
I hope so. Because I'd love to have him for another 4 years. I'd love him for 4 and then DeSantis for 8 right after him.
Now, the last minute, I got some last thoughts coming up. First off, I don't know what it is that's going to make our life any better until we can take and get these people to realize what they're doing is harming our nation. It's not making it better. Take a look at California with people walking around taking a dump in the middle of the road or on sidewalks.
Yeah.
How many people and what's happening out over there? People are leaving en masse from California because of their socialist
taxes and socialist bullshit.
It's killing them.
Yeah, but then they're just going to go to Texas and vote the same way and turn Texas into a shithole.
Well, we've got to do something. We've got to do something fast. And I got to tell you, there are a lot of people who are like-minded to yourself and myself that aren't going to be taking up to this. It's time for us to go. Danny, I want to say thank you very much. Blazeman, our engineer, thank you so much. And for the people who are watching, God bless you. Thank you. If you like this, share this, talk to your friends about it. I'm Mr. B. This has been Politicking with Mr. B because our country's time is ticking. I'll see you all again soon. Take care.
All right, bud.